Loyal dogs are common, but here we will talk about dogs that show loyalty to their owners in some special cases. Evidence suggests that some dogs are waiting at their owners' graves. Loyal dogs feel a special attachment to their owners. So, in some cases, these faithful friends stay close to their owners' graves. Others wait at the hospital gate, where they saw them for the last time. Canelo in Cádiz. Canelo was a dog who lived in the 80s in Cádiz, Spain. Unfortunately, he was the only friend of his owner, who was a lonely man, and would go with him everywhere. For years, Canelo would go to dialysis treatment once a week with his owner, waiting for him outside the door. One day the owner died due to complications during treatment. Canelo waited at the hospital's outer door for 12 long years. Canelo never moved from that place, and the neighbors brought him food and water. She won the hearts of everyone who knew the story. Without a doubt, he is one of the most loyal dogs in history. Bobby in Edinburgh was one of these loyal dogs. Bobby was a mid-19th century dog. Its owner was a cop in Edinburgh, Scotland, and they were all together. One day, the policeman who owned it died suddenly of tuberculosis. Bobby accompanied the ceremony to the cemetery where they buried its owner. Showing incredible devotion and extraordinary loyalty, Bobby stood by his owner's grave for 14 years until his death. As a result, people in the area took care of him and gave him food and shelter in the winter. He turned into a true legend that everyone adored and loved. El Gaucho in Uruguay. El Gaucho is one of the most loyal dogs in the world, having lived in Uruguay in the 60s. One day the owner fell ill and was taken to a hospital 30 miles away. This greatly upset Gaucho and left him alone. Therefore, El Gaucho decided to look for its owner and began the journey through rivers and wetlands until he found the hospital. The lonely dog waited outside the hospital where his owner was staying. Seeing this, hospital staff and neighbors admired his loyalty and brought him food. When its owner died, El Gaucho howled heartbreakingly. This faithful dog went to the cemetery where his owner was buried. He sat by his grave for 30 days. After that, he began to go to the city in search of food, but returned every afternoon to sleep on his owner's grave. Collie in Argentina. Collie is one of the most loyal dogs in history. On the day his owner was buried, he went to his grave at La Piedad Cemetery in Rosario, Argentina. He remained in his master's grave and slept. The next day, the deceased's family went looking for him because Collie didn't want to move. They also let him stay by the grave until he returned with a leash. There was no way to get him out of the cemetery, he refused to leave his owner. He stayed there for 5 years. Fido in Italy, another loyal dog. Fido lived in a small town in Italy in the late 1930s. Its owner, Luigi, was a young carpenter and used to take the train to work every morning. Therefore, Fido would go with him to the train station every morning and also wait for him there when he returned from work. In 1943, Luigi was drafted into the army and sent to the Russian front. His faithful friend continued to wait for him at the station every afternoon, looking for him among the passengers. As a result, Luigi did not return and Fido, one of the most loyal dogs in history, waited for his owner for 7 years until his death. As a result, it seems that animals will never cease to amaze us with their qualities. Their love shows their devotion. In many cases, dogs set an example that we humans should follow.